All right, everybody well caffeinated? So we can kick it off for 5 more companies in a row. 4 of those are going to be silver. And this next one, though, first of all, is Founders Metals. And it seems like they're doing something right at this conference because their stock went up 22% yesterday. So I don't know what you're doing, but feel free to tell me. Market cap's now $57 million, and they're a gold development company moving their Suriname project forward. Ticker symbol is FDR on the Ventures Exchange and 9DLO. Over here in Frankfurt, and Pascal is going to tell us more about it.
Great. Thanks for the introduction. My name is Pascal, and I'm here to talk about the Guiana Shield's next major gold camp. I'm making some forward-looking statements, so I encourage all of you to read the website and check the deck. So our project is in the southeast corner of Suriname. Suriname, it has several major gold deposits, including Zijin's 13.7 million ounce gold deposit, as well as Newmont's 7 million ounce gold deposit. It is historically known as a major producer with over 500,000 ounces of gold reported. So there's a few things that I'd like to point out about that 500,000 ounces. Firstly, that was all done using artisanal scale methods, so really only about 20–30% recovery. So in essence, what that means is, in the shallow, weathered overburden of the footprint of this mineralizing system, there's about 1.5 to 2 million ounces of gold. So that was really kind of what attracted us to this project, and that's also the exact same kind of characteristic of how they found both Rosebel and Newmont, is a large artisanal footprint. And I think that we have every indication of a similar style deposit at the Antino project. It is a large land package. It's over 200 square kilometers, and we've built a very capital-efficient program at about $160 per meter. It is by far and large the most advanced exploration program within Suriname. It has 32,000 meters of historical drilling, as well as a property-wide geochemical sampling survey, as well as a regional geophysics survey. So it really kind of has a clear path forward and a lot of obvious targets to begin on and a lot of places to grow on. We're a young company. We've only been working for about 5 to 6 months, and in that time, we've produced over 10 100-gram-meter products, including 15 meters at 30 grams per ton, 12 meters of 20 grams per ton. So we've really been able to build a lot of momentum. We've remained committed to keeping a very tight share structure. These numbers are going to change a little bit. Just last week, we announced a $5.75 million bought deal with BMO. So at the end of the day, once this gets updated and we close next week, it'll be around 56 million shares outstanding, 76 million shares fully diluted. Those shares, the non-diluted is all warrants, and those warrants are now all well within the money. We expect to see about another $7 million in proceeds once those warrants are exercised, and they all expire in 2025. So initially, kind of concept-wise, taking a step back in kind of time and space, what attracted to us to the region was really everybody just kind of understands the mineral endowment and potential of the West Africa Permian Shield. There's been hundreds of years of development in West Africa, and in that time, they've been able to define about 275 million ounces of gold. So, but obviously West Africa has a lot of clear challenges that I think people are also aware of. So the next obvious thing is the other half of the belt. So in the little-known countries of Suriname, Guyana, and French Guiana lay the other half of one of the most prolific gold belts in the world. And it's only seen about 20 years of modern exploration, and in a short 20 years' time, it's been about 110 million ounces of gold discoveries. So kind of zooming more in on the region, so you can see it as a broad belt with multiple 5 million ounce deposits, kind of spearheaded by Rosebel's 13.7 million ounce deposit, Marian's 7 million ounce deposit. Further to the west, you can see Oko West and Reunion Gold, which has really given a lot of traction to the region. Down in our corner, in the southeast corner of the country, it remains one of the most underexplored districts, but also one of the most prolific. You can see around it, there are multiple 1, 2, 3 million ounce deposits, and all those deposits were built with only about 10 to 20,000 meters of drilling, and by all regards, had lots of room to grow. So really, this is kind of a no-brainer as far as infrastructure goes because it was turnkey. Everything is already built on site. Due to the artisanal scale activity, there is a broad road network going to all major prospects. We have a 1.3 kilometer airstrip that we can extend at any time that has 5 commercial flights for a week. $100 and 45 minutes, you're on site. We have a 100-man camp already built, fully constructed. We have multiple ports on a major river system that we can move heavy equipment and barge stuff all year. So really, we were able to go in and spend every single dollar directly into drilling. Part of the larger opportunity here is the massive upside potential. So most of that 32,000 meters historically has been in the top left there. You can see the upper Antino area, and in the kind of center right, you see the Buit. So those areas have a lot of very high-grade material defined right from surface. So everywhere between there has been basically zero drilling done. So initially, in the first 6 to 12 months, or in the following 6 to 12 months, we look to do a lot of work in the historical camps. And then at the same time, in parallel, we're going to be developing a lot of the really blue sky potential within that 8-kilometer gold trend. We own 2 of our own drills. One drill can go straight into defining a resource, and the other drill can focus on the massive upside potential of the various gold anomalies between the 2 major existing gold camps on site. So this is the top left of the previous figure. So this is the upper Antino area. I'm going to zoom into the Froyo prospect, which has some phenomenal historical numbers of 62 meters at 10 grams per ton. So really the geological team, we kind of started with doing a relog and kind of trying to reinterpret things and kind of understand what the best way to follow the system was. And we've kind of done that with resounding results. So we've been able to extend the high-grade mineralization from surface over 200 meters extent already. This full end-to-end is about 500 meters, and the full surface scale mineralization identified in auger samples is about 1.2 kilometers. Our furthest north extension of the drilling has been our highest grade to date, which is about 231 grams per ton at 20 meters true depth. You can see in the proposed and pending dots on the figure that we've kind of taken a very systematic, stepwise approach on growing in 25 to 50 meter extensions. And visually to date, all of those holes have visually continued the structure. So I know that every single Minex company in the history of Minex talks about being open in all directions, but we come by that honestly. And not just that, but as we've drilled at depth, we've actually had some of our broadest intercepts to date, with 26 meters to 6.65 meters at the deepest interval to date. So this thing really seems to expand and flare out at depth, which is really promising to the upper Antino area. And while we've started the drilling, we've also done just a lot of really high quality, value-added exploration work, that including geophysics. And really, this has kind of helped us switch on the lights in a lot of sense as far as making really high resolution vectoring and targeting towards some of these really high-grade zones. In conjunction with mapping, surface sampling, and geophysics, we've really been able to figure out some of the key characteristics that is most associated with some of the highest grade material. And we've leveraged that very successfully to be able to really kind of unlock the broader scale of the shear structure. So beyond there, I mean, near term, what we've done in the Froyo gold zone has really been perceived well. But beyond that, we have over 3 immediate targets in the periphery that share very similar characteristics to the Froyo gold zone. So we've just began drilling some of those prospects. So by the end of the year, we look to be able to communicate with the market results from over 3 prospects outside of the initial Froyo zone that we began on. So next would be kind of the center target on the end of the to date known 8-kilometer gold trend. So this is the Buit target. So currently what we did is same thing. We kind of did a multi-pronged approach of initially doing a lot of just high quality technical mapping work, trenching, sampling, auger grids. Presently, there is a geophysical survey going on this prospect. And then once we've shored that up enough, we're looking at January, February, early next year, we're going to go with one drill straight to Buit. So expect a lot of interesting results from a whole new prospect area. And then again, as a part of a larger strategy, we're going to drill this in the near term, and then a lot of the other fantastic anomalies that surface that share all the similar characteristics as the artisanal mining camps. We're going to have a broad-scale exploration project, surficial, in those areas to be able to shore those up, to be able to expand and focus on the blue sky in the near future. There's some distinct differences about the Buit target, which I find very compelling. It's very much a bulk tonnage style deposit. So we have a bulk large volume, but generally lower grades, so about 1, 2, 3, 4 grams per ton. Across the river, about 6 kilometers as the crow flies, there is a 2 million ounce deposit called the Yao deposit. And what we've done is we've taken some of the technical staff that are behind the Yao deposit and showed them Buit, and they say that it's very compelling and very similar to what they see in the Yao deposit. Our teams have also recently been able to discover a very high-grade structure that cuts through this in an east-west sense, and is more so the discrete kind of high-grade vein system that we see in Upper Antino. And we've been able to successfully assay up to 113 grams per ton from surface. So initially, when we began, we were looking at doing about 10,000 meters of drilling on the program by Christmas, so June to shut down the rest of 2023. But kind of on the heels of the success that we've had in the market, we're able to start the second drill. So we will both meet and exceed these targets. So by the time we shut down, we'll probably be looking closer about 12 to 15,000 meters. So we've been able to scale up very quickly. And we've also been able to do a lot of great things with our drilling. So we're a Minex company, but in some senses, we're also kind of a drilling company. We bought our own drills, we own our equipment, and we have all local labor. And that's really kind of been able to provide us with a lot of benefits. Firstly, we're not beholden to any kind of other costs. We can drill when we want to drill. We're not beholden to a contract. And on the other end of the drill, we have a lab that can turn around assays in about 3 days. So that's been really positive to be able to communicate with the market, but technically it's also been, bar none, an amazing advantage for us, because basically in real time we can see where the high grade is, how to vector in on it, and how to expand upon it. And in addition to geophysical surveys, we'll likely be looking at doing a broader property scale survey so we can really start to put together some of these satellite prospects and bring this to scale. We are going to accelerate the ownership of the project. So probably close to the end of 2024, we'll be able to be a full owner of the Antino project. So aggressive, fast-paced development into full ownership of the project. I think one of the key takeaways of all the stories you guys will see here today is that the Antino project really checks every major box that you'd be looking for as an investor. It has enormous upscale potential. It has proven resource, it has scalability, and we can move incredibly fast. We don't have any of the encumbrances that we have in the increasingly difficult North American jurisdictions as far as long permitting periods, difficulties being able to move work forward, the First Nations difficulties. Really, we remain unhindered. So we can really develop this at a very fast pace and take it a lot of directions. We also have the concession, not just the exploration rights, but the mining rights as well. So I think that in a future type view, when you look at the fact that we're the most advanced exploration program in the country and the fact that we've been able to deliver phenomenal results, we are a very clear candidate for takeout by the majors who are already operating within the district. Our team is built up of basically all the major skill sets that you require to be able to bring this to scale, including geologists with over 30 years experience, a legal team, mining engineers, and capital markets experts who've been very acquainted with the mineral exploration market for over 30 years now. Thank you very much. Happy to take some questions.
Does anybody have any questions? Good.
Yeah, go ahead.
Your ultimate goal is to be taken over?
Yes, yes. We're very much focused on kind of the traditional model of developing a resource, being taken over by a major. But for myself, one of the things that makes this project also so exciting is that we also do indeed have the mining rights. So there's all kinds of kind of supplementary interesting things. Going back to the number of 500,000 ounces historically produced at 20% recovery, we have tailings and waste material that goes up to 9 grams per ton with an average around 3 grams per ton. So we're focused on the traditional market model, but we kind of have some interesting and exciting other types of avenues that we can pursue if we so choose to.
Thank you, Pascal. I also noticed that there's a little bit of grade variability in some of those. Maybe you could go back a couple of slides where we can see that.
Which slide particularly?
Go ahead. I'll tell you when to stop. Yeah, let's look at this one. Yeah. So there's, you notice on maybe it wasn't this one because there's not that much grade variability here. Let's see. Yeah. So sometimes it goes up and above like 15, and sometimes it goes down to like 2, and so on and so forth. How are you thinking about grade variability, and how do you think you're going to be dealing with it?
Well, I think that's just kind of a classic characteristic of an orogenic gold system, and I think a lot of like most of the deposits in this region are kind of characterized by that same thing. But the best way that we can figure out gold variability is that our team has been able to recognize about 4 major mineralizing events. So really we're starting to unlock what kind of brings those bonanza grades. And clearly we're successfully vectoring towards those. So we've kind of adjusted our strategy to be able to focus on those higher grade intercepts and are starting to identify what makes them unique and how we can expand upon them.
Got it. Thank you, Pascal. Anybody else? Any questions? Go ahead.
Which other majors are nearby?
Yeah, so Newmont has the Marion mine. Formerly IAM Gold, now Zijin, has the Rosebell mine. I know that Barrick is very active in the region. They had the partnership with Reunion, and they also have some of their own exploration as well. So yeah, and there's been a lot of interest just broadly. You can tell that they're starting to kick tires within the region because they see its potential.
All right. Thank you, Pascal.
Thank you.